What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. A couple things I want to share with you this morning. Number one, I had to fire someone last night, and I did it by email. And we're going to talk about 6 myths that HVAC pros still hear every day. Are you ready? Let's go. She could take a beating and keep on ticking. That's reliability. That's ACIQ. For more details, go to aciq.com/Mikey Pipes. Before we get rocking and rolling this morning, folks, we have a special package going. This one's going to Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's going to Mike. He's been following me for a very long time. He is getting the Mikey Pipes custom surge protection device. I got it in the box right here. $175 donation he made to the Mikey Pipes Philanthropy charitable organization. Since he also installs ACIQ systems, I'm going to give him one of my private label stickers. I'm going to give him magnets so he can throw it in the back of his work truck. Regardless of his religious beliefs, a St. Mike Happy Holiday sticker, and if you ain't testing, you're guessing sticker. Yeah. You know what? Let's give him some magnets too. We'll give him a few magnets, $55 off your next service call. Let's throw it in there. If you're interested in one of these, this is what it looks like, folks. Okay, we have a surge protection, we have a circuit breaker, and a voltage monitor all in one waterproof enclosure with a 6-foot half-inch whip with 3 conductors. Details in the description box down below. $175 donation to the Mikey Pipes Philanthropy Travel Organization, and I'll get one in the mail to you. That simple, folks. That simple. Before I talk about firing someone last night by email, we're going to touch a little bit about 6 myths that we still, as HVAC technicians, still hear every day. You know, from bigger to better, to heat pumps don't work in cold climates. The myths, well, there's plenty of them. There sure is, and I hear them every single day. Matter of fact, yesterday, I went on an estimate service call, which prompted my second Uncensored video yesterday. And we walked out with all heat pumps. A 3-ton heat pump, a 5-ton heat pump, and an 80-gallon domestic hot water heat pump. With special thanks to ACIQ, we're going to make this oil heated home, an oil domestic hot water home, one of the model ACIQ showcase homes for electrification. You think it don't work in cold climates, man, you guys are a mistake. But before we start talking about heat pumps and how excellent they work, well, depending on the brand, in cold climates, I need to have a shot of espresso. Ah, that's so good. Myth number 1. Cranking down the thermostat will make the house cool faster. Ladies and gentlemen, the thermostat that controls your cooling system is not like a gas pedal in your car. If you want to do pedal to the metal, great, sure, no problem. You know, just don't be in Florida and get caught with a super speeder ticket, because that's a speed greater than 100 miles an hour, and that's going to get you locked up with a felony. You don't want to do that. But if you pedal to the metal in your thermostat, the only thing that you're going to be doing is increasing the runtime. The thermostat, think of it this way, is like a light switch. It's either on or off. We're not talking about one of those crazy dimmer switches or a Lutron, whatever. No, we're talking about a standard, traditional, single pole, single throw outlet switch. You flip it up, the light comes on. You flip it off, the light goes off. That's simple. Your thermostat operates just like that, but it operates based on temperature, right? When the temperature reaches a certain set point, the system either turns on or off. That's simple. So cranking that thermometer down, I keep saying thermometer, damn. Blah, 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 blah. Cranking that thermostat down is not going to make the system cool your house or condition space faster. The next myth I have a problem with. People think that you could save money by turning up the thermostat or turning up the AC when you're not home and then letting it cool the home when you get home. If you have a traditional single stage air conditioning system, like most people have, not my clients though, not the ones that have the Mikey Pipes powered by ACIQ system. No, not theirs, because those are inverter-driven. But if you have a traditional central air conditioning system and you raise the temperature 4 to 6 degrees when you're not home, and then before you get home, maybe with a programmable thermostat, have it turn the cooling on to a desirable temperature, will in fact actually save you money because you don't have that increased runtime. However, if you have a communicating inverter system, right, where you have modulating speeds or variable speeds, you can in fact save money with that kind of system and leave it at a set temperature all day long. Think about it this. The outdoor temperature is 90 degrees. You want it 70 degrees inside the house. That's a 20-degree temperature difference. Having your single stage system running all day long when you're not home to maintain that 20-degree difference on a 90-degree day, that's going to put some strain on the system. Hear me out before that one guy's going to critique this, right? But it's going to cause that system to run, costing you more money. We all know, based on if you watch my videos, that a traditional central air conditioning system uses a lot of amperage, a lot of power. 12, 15, 20 amps of power when it's running. While my inverter communicating heat pump systems, which do heating and cooling, run at a fraction of the amperage, around 4 to 5 amps of power. So if you have an inverter communicating system, you're going to save money, tons of money. If you have a single stage system, turn off that thermostat when you're at home or raise it up to save some money. Prove me wrong. I haven't finished my shot of espresso. By the way, the maintenance agreement war board looking kind of dismal. A major key player, a key team member has been out with a family issue. We thoughts and prayers for their family. Leave it at that. We also had installs going on this week, waiting on approvals for maintenance agreements on the install. So sometimes I get them, sometimes we don't, but it's also been a little bit of a quiet week. The weather's dismal. The next myth, heat pumps are not good or effective in cooler regions, cooler climates. Depends what your definition of cooler climate is. But if you live in the North Pole, the Arctic Circle, Antarctica, no, they're not going to work. No, you're going to need heat strips, and you're going to need a nuclear power plant to power those heat strips, because you're going to be sucked into bankruptcy with a heat pump if you live in a very cold climate. Unless you live in Ohio, right, near Vandalia or Troy or Dayton, where you have cold winters and nice hot summers, right, and you have an ACIQ heat pump system. I'm not going to turn this into an infomercial for ACIQ, I'm sorry, right? But it's a myth. But the newer technology, especially with cold climate heat pumps, phenomenal. Now, I don't really recommend ripping out your primary fossil fuel source of heat unless you're really going to put in heat strips. But I don't put in heat strips. These heat pumps that we install here in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area, they are high performance, ultra high efficient heat pump systems. They will work at 100% output at negative temperatures. And you don't got to spend an arm and a leg. You don't. Because they come at the same, my systems at least, come at the same price point of a builder's grade system. A little bit higher though. A little bit, let's keep it real. And you best offer an extended warranty to the client when you're putting a system in like that. Just to protect their wallet financially. God forbid there's an issue, right after the warranty expires or whatever it is, it's best to do that. At Pipe Doctor Home Services, we build that into the price. That way we can offer what we offer. So, heat pumps are great in cold climates. Myth number 4, and I heard this, I had to defend this yesterday. I really did. And then this is what solidified the job that I secured yesterday. A multiple system replacement from a multiple straight cool systems and oil-fired heating with hot water, domestic hot water, to heat pump technology. And that is oversized systems will heat and cool your system better. Let me explain this to you real quick, and then I'll talk about the email I had to send out last night. If you do a load calculation or you measure the conditioned space that you need to heat and cool, factoring in direction of the sun, the climate, zip code, the exposure, insulation, windows, skylights, if you factor all of that in correctly, multiple platforms out there that calculate what we call in the industry a manual J calculation will give you a load calculation for that conditioned space. And it's even now so easier. You can use your iPad with LiDAR and with a special app, and it'll measure everything for you and give everything a 3D map and tell you exactly what size duct needs to be in every single room if it's a new install, down to the tonnage of the equipment. If you oversize an air conditioning system, yes, you will cool that air quicker because you have more BTUs to work with. However, you will have humidification problems, or should I say dehumidification problems, because one of the benefits of air conditioning, besides its primary objective to extract the heat from inside that conditioned space and discharge it outside, is that it also removes humidity. And if you remove humidity too quickly, if you remove the heat so quickly, you're not going to get a chance to remove the equal amount of humidity as well. So you'll have a very cool conditioned space, but it'll still be damp. And that plays a role on our bodies, the way our bodies measure and feel that humidity. And I'm equally guilty of it, ladies and gentlemen. Many years ago, 15 years ago, I put a 12,000 BTU ductless single zone mini split system in my master bedroom when it only needed, safe to say, around 7. I had to keep it at 64 degrees so it feels like it's 70 or 68. Because I oversized the system, I have more BTUs extracting the heat from the air. Humidity levels don't really come down that much because the air cools off so quickly. Now I gotta put it into dry mode. Come on, folks. If you oversize a boiler or a furnace, for example, a boiler, let's say you have baseboard heating. Slant fit number 30. Slant fit number 30 will have an output of 610 BTUs per linear foot at 180 degrees of water temperature. So if I have 100 feet of slant fit number 30, that's 61,000 BTUs that I need of heat at 180 degrees. So if I put in a 250,000 BTU boiler, what's gonna happen, folks? It's gonna short cycle. And that's gonna lead to a plethora of other problems, such as the boiler condensing upon itself, chimney, everything. And it all goes down to short cycling and acidic condensate, because it's gonna condense upon itself, because, do the math, folks. So, myth number 4, an oversized system will not cool your home better. Folks, we're gonna leave it at that. I am gonna tell you guys an email I had to send last night. Now, from time to time, I reactivate my ad on Indeed looking for team members to join. Ideally, I need one more. Well, I want to say me, we need one more experienced and qualified residential HVAC service technician. If you have some plumbing experience, great, because you could cross work. You know, maybe there's a leak under a sink or a toilet that needs to be that's running that needs to be fixed. Great, on those slower days when we don't have an HVAC call, you could do that, but it's not necessary. But I still guarantee 40 hours of work per week, regardless if you work, half days, 5 days a week. So when I put together and post a job description, it's very descriptive. Some of you may think I'm a hard ass, some of you think I'm just evil, I'm not a good trainer, I'm not this, I'm not that. That's all fine and dandy. But if I outline A, B, and C, 1, 2, 3, X, Y, and Z, and you respond claiming that you know that, great. Actions speak louder than words. I even have an assessment quiz that I hand to prospective or to candidates when I interview them to see their strengths and weaknesses. It's not designed to call them out on if they're bullshitting or not. No, it's so I can see their strengths and their weaknesses. And some people are exceptionally good, book smart, but may not have the experience or the ability to put what's in your head onto your hands. That happens. I've been doing this for quite some time. Quite some time, folks. And unfortunately, I've seen many people come and many people go. Many of you think that, Mikey Pipes, you don't know how to take care of your employees. Well, you feel free to believe that. Feel free to believe that anything that you want, but knock yourself out if that's what you think. So, when my second in command tells me that if I was an owner of an HVAC company, I would not let this individual work unsupervised. So when my second in command tells me that, giving me their honest evaluation of this individual, and I kind of saw that the other day anyway. So If this individual shows up this morning, not reading the email, great. I'll have a conversation with them when they arrive. If he reads it and I don't see him ever again, and he delivers company property, to the office before the next pay cycle, great. Everything's outlined in the employee handbook. Everything. But I was going to let the rest of the next 2 days, today, Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday, play out, and then, I don't know, send him home. Sayonara. But why prolong the inevitable? Right? I need competent, qualified, with experience individuals who are tired of working for a mediocre company with a job being just over broke. And I would like one individual to join the team for full-time, year-round employment. 6:05 a.m., Thursday, May 14th. After careful consideration, we have determined that your qualifications and experience do not align with the requirements of the position for which you were hired. As a result, blah, 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 blah. I didn't like to do that, but I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and actions speak louder than words. Have at it, peanut gallery, and all the keyboard warriors sitting in their parents' basement wearing their sister's panties. Yes, that's you, and you. But those who know. Thanks for watching. Happy Thursday. Go hug your kids when you get home today. Be well, God bless, stay safe.